Crystal here. It's the 14th of July, 2018. I hear that President Trump has been in the UK for a visit, and yesterday he was in Scotland visiting the Queen with his wife, the First Lady. I hope he finds Great Britain welcoming. I'm eating a banana. This is my breakfast. I've taken tablets, so I'm feeling a bit knocked out. They don't really work, but they make me so tired and out of it that I don't think about the pain. Yesterday I went out to Chatham Library as I usually do. Beverly wasn't in there because I went out early in the morning, so it was fairly quiet. I stayed in there for a bit. Nothing really to talk about that happened in there. I went out of there, went into the works to look for some things to occupy my mind, like drawing and writing at home. I went into Sainsbury's for the said banana, the Starbucks coffee, something to eat, and I walked home and got home earlier than normal. I felt really tired and worn out and unwell, so I came indoors and had a rest. Later on, the postman came. He had a little black package in his right hand. He didn't have his trolley, he had post in his left, and there was no post for me, which I didn't mind because I went and got my package from the Chatham sorting office yesterday. And the thought for each day it was The Golden Present by Sri Swami Sachi Dhanananda, and it's a book, a thought for each day of the year. Very good book actually. It explains to you that God has given you a pain. God has given you this pain for a reason, and he will decide when it goes away. You have been given this pain by God for a reason. So I'm trying to learn to live with this pain and realise it's been given to me not to make me angry and aggressive, but to learn how to control things and keep things under control. So when people shout in my ear, are rude and using mobile phones and trying to harm me, I learned to see it from a different angle, that God has given me this to change the way I look at things and the way I look at people. They're not being cruel and nasty. They may be a bit ignorant, but so I learned to live with it. And the way I live with it is I put earphones in my ears and ignore the rudeness. But there you go. When I went into Sainsbury's, an old lady with short hair, like the one that walked into TK Maxx before I was assaulted and allegedly raped by the Command House pub, the woman that looked like the one in 2008 pushed in front of me, and another woman in Sainsbury's, and looked at me as if I was going to say something. Well, again, I have learnt to control myself. This woman probably didn't see there was a queue of more than 2 or 3 people in it, and she just went and got her stuff. But she did look like the woman that followed me into shops before I was allegedly raped by the Command House pub, which disturbed me a little. So yesterday was not a good day for me, to be honest. I came back home, like I said, there was no post, and I put the Wimbledon on, and there was a very long match between a blonde South African player in a cap and a very tall not unlike my two sons. Do you know what I mean? They're both over 6 foot tall. It's like both my sons were playing tennis, licking their lips and banging the ball about. It was a very long match, 25 games, and the South African Kevin Anderson won. It's a very good match, very long. And not long after that, my son rang the buzzer. He had got off the bus and needed to go to the toilet for a crap. I let him in. I asked who it was because I thought it might be the drunken slob I used to go out with, and I wasn't going to let him in. So I let my son upstairs to go to the toilet. He came out and said, "Mum, I'm sorry, I've blocked your toilet." Which he didn't really block it. I just needed a couple of flushes and it unflushed. He showed me pictures of his girlfriend and himself on some pier, like holding each other. And because I've just been lately going on some pier myself and taking pictures of the boats and the beachy park. So I thought, yeah, well, that's nice. You've got a lovely girlfriend. Good. He didn't stay long, like I said. He said, "Mum, would you like a phone for your birthday? Because I'm 50 in September." I said, "That's up to you, David, because I'm not being nasty to anybody, but I usually end up with nothing at all. So if I get something, it's better than nothing. And if someone says they're going to give you something, do not believe that until you've got it in your hand. It's not being nasty, but things happen." And he said, "Would you like blonde highlights in your hair?" Because we had discussed this. I said, "All the dye has now come out my hair." I said, "This is my hair. It's brown tinged with grey. That horrible colour you go, yeah, when you're in middle age going on to elderly age, you know, your hair goes a browny, dull grey. So I said, yes, I'd like to have blonde highlights. That would be nice." Then he said, "Oh, I've got to go and rush and get the 8 o'clock bus to his place," which he must have been late for because he went nearly at 8 p.m. He said he was on a diet and could he have some water, so I gave him a bottle of mineral water, and on his way he went. I waved out to him out the window, and then someone in the Royal Tandoori alleyway, later on in the evening, shone a bright torch as I was looking out the window, which nearly blinded me in the eyes. The usual stuff I write about in my diary. Now we're leading up to going to my parents' tomorrow, my mum and dad, and usually things start to reach a crescendo, especially on the Saturday. I usually get all sorts of shit flung at me. So A, I can't go up there, or B, I'm in a terrible mood because I've been mistreated and I'm really upset. And then I go up to my mum and dad really cross and angry, and I'm supposed to be this angry, mad woman that goes around damaging cars and shouting at people. But since I've read this book, which is very, very good, I'm trying to calm myself down. And this morning it will be the usual. Distracting myself from the pain, ignoring idiots, really aiming for my left ear because that's where the pain comes from, and just trying to act, I stipulate, act normal.